Well, we're here at Calverts, which is a business which has now been running well over 30 years. It has a history as a workers' cooperative, but also is a business that has made a transition on the environmental side, as well as looking at the issues around working conditions. Tell us something a bit about the background to Calverts, what makes it different?
Essentially, we've traded for 33 years as a sort of radical common ownership cooperative. The other thing that probably marks us out, therefore, is the kind of clients we've worked with over the years. Everyone, you know, from the new social movements, the women's movements, various cultural movements, the green movement in the early days. Although we've always also made our money working for corporate clients and other design agencies.
So the working conditions side of it, which has been is an issue, I think, for quite a lot of companies that might see themselves as having quite an environmental agenda, but don't necessarily see that as linking to working conditions. In a sense, Calverts started with working conditions.
Started the other way around. So, in essence, you could say that the mission of the cooperative is to provide decent jobs. You know, the essence of that was looking at the conditions of our work, our hours, what we were paid, the sort of level of what we call respect at work. It's a big issue for us that you know we treat each other with respect. We demand respect from our clients and our suppliers, but also looking at sort of the physical working conditions. So early on, we realised that some of the chemicals we were using were giving people dermatitis and breathing problems, and you know things like MEK and some of the hand cleaners were really very nasty chemicals. So, as an aspect of having control over our own working conditions, we were able to start trying to find alternatives to these chemicals.
Were there any other triggers as well that helped make the company more environmentally conscious?
In terms of the things that we purchase, the things that we buy, our materials, our papers, our inks, we do use some of the labelling schemes. We've found the Forestry Stewardship Council certification chain of custody scheme to be very useful for trying to improve the environmental quality of the virgin fibre paper that we use. So yes, we do rely on the certification schemes, but we also have always relied on common sense.
So where do you see the business being in the next, I don't know, 2 to 5 years?
We will probably still be doing printing, but we'll be doing much shorter run work. We'll be doing maybe 10, 20, 300 copies rather than 5, 10, 15,000 copies. It'll be much higher quality, it'll become a much higher value product, and we'll be working much more widely as designers and consultants with our clients to look at those issues.
I mean, one of the things that people talk about green jobs is the new technology coming through. How much do you think that new technology will be a driver in change?
There are always people looking to create a technological edge to create greater efficiencies and greater productivity so that you can get advantage in the marketplace, so you can produce more and more stuff. There is this beast in the belly of business which makes it want to grow all the time, and we're not immune from that because we have to, you know, to survive and have decent working conditions and pay our way, and you know we have to compete. And that means we have to invest, and that means we're caught up in this cycle of more all the time. And it's a very difficult thing to break out of. We can't do it as a single company. You know, I think we need a wider evaluation of, you know, the idea that growth cannot go on in the way it has done. I mean, it just can't. You know, growth as we think of it is unsustainable, full stop. And business is the biggest driver of that thing. So. You know, there are big questions for us as a business, but they're not necessarily questions that we can answer on our own.